Let's go. Are we actually on? You're here listening with Kayla
and Georgia,
bringing you real, raw, and relatable chats on the Evolve to Thrive podcast.
Stay tuned because shit's about to get juicy as we dive into all things health, fitness, life, and relationships.
Let's go. Woo. Ladies, before we get into today's episode, I'd like to mention that I am running a 10-week case study program. This means I am looking for women who are specifically working towards body recomposition goals. This means you are committed to losing 4 to 8 kilos of body fat in 10 weeks and are capable of getting to the gym 3 to 4 times per week for strength and muscle building goals. If you are ready to go from fit to strong and master the art of macro tracking so that you can achieve results whilst enjoying the foods you love, then DM me Evolve on Instagram at likeagirlfitness_ and I will see whether in fact this program is for you. Alternatively, head to www.likeagirlfitness.com.au. Just letting you know, we are starting on the 22nd of April and I only have 10 spots left. So be sure to reach out to me on Instagram. On today's episode, I invite one of my absolute OG clients, Danni, onto the pod to share her own personal journey from fit to strong. So this podcast, ladies and gents, is dedicated to body recomposition, and I want to show you what that looks like because so many women still to this day remain so focused on losing weight and the scale number. And I want to show you how body recomposition can change your life and what you actually see for results that can be sustainable. So we're going to discuss how Danni overcome gym anxiety. And we're also going to go through how she has stepped away from fear and actually become more confident with lifting weights because, again, so many women are so scared to do that. And also, the best thing about having Danni on today is she is going to shed the light on what it's like being a mum of 2. She's a full-time worker. She runs her own business and she manages to find time for the gym. She trains 5 times per week amongst all of the chaos of her busy schedule. So this is the episode for the women out there who are classifying themselves as busy gals, struggling to find time for themselves. So this is the motivation and the inspiration that you need to feel empowered and ready to make a change because she has demonstrated that you are in fact capable. So without further ado, let's bring on Miss Danni to the pod. How are you?
I'm
today?
Great. Thanks for having me on. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. You are my first client that I have brought onto the podcast.
Woohoo.
How does that make you feel?
Well, hopefully I do it justice.
You definitely will.
Hopefully I represent.
I want to know, let's start this off with how your friends would describe you in 4 words.
My friends would probably describe me as crazy, good crazy, but crazy, creative, definitely passionate, and they'd probably say I'm a very good listener.
Yeah. I mean, being a mum, you would have to be a pretty good listener, hey?
Yes. I think we're highly attuned to hearing people out and helping them reach a resolution. Yes.
I think patience should be an added one on there
key.
too. But creative is a good one because you are in fact an illustrator. You are a creator. Talk to us about your work, a day in the life of Danni, what you do and the business that you have created.
So I run a business called Live Sketch by Danni B, which is bringing brands, events and guest experiences to life with live illustration and tailored artwork. So I work with a lot of large brands and event managers to really treat their guests to an exceptional experience through tailored artwork. Now, I work at home by myself predominantly. So I guess an average day for me is a mix of running my business from home, obviously going out on site when I need to be, managing the house, running the kids around, school lunches, school drop-offs, mixing it in with hubby's schedule. So as you can imagine, It's hectic.
It's chaotic.
It's mad.
Organised.
But good mad.
Organised chaos.
Yes.
Yeah. And so obviously the reason I got you on today was so that we can talk about your own health and fitness journey and how you in fact make time for the gym amongst all of this chaos.
Yes.
But I do want to know, how long ago did you start your business?
I started my own business approximately when my son was still a toddler. So that would have probably been about 8-9 years ago.
I was going to say, so you've got 2 kids?
Yes, got 2
and
kids.
their ages now?
My son is almost 12 and my daughter is 14. So primary school and high school.
Yeah. And when I check in with Danni, she has a lot of, her kids are involved with many sports.
Yes.
So I find that you are always racing around, not only to school drop off, but also to organise sport on the weekends, training and juggling that between all the things as well.
Yes.
So you definitely do it all.
Attempting to. We only do what we can. And obviously why I'm here also is to chat about how the gym sort of comes into play with that and how that really benefits my life in amongst the hectic nature of things.
Yeah, that is exactly what we're going to get into today. But I did forget an important segment of the podcast,
Yes.
which is our recommendation or craving of the week.
Okay, craving
Are you
of the
prepared?
week. I'm prepared. I would definitely say I'm craving peanut butter like crazy at the moment, but that is just generally every day. And also now that it's Easter season, the caramel-filled Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I am drooling when I'm going through the supermarket aisles and restraining myself, but I will cut loose on Easter and those caramel-filled Easter eggs, better watch out. I'm coming for you.
You're coming for it. Aren't you lucky? We're in a calorie surplus muscle building phase at the moment. So girlfriend, you enjoy those eggs.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. I want to know, what is your favorite peanut butter?
I love my Maver's peanut butter, the smooth Maver's with a pinch of salt. You know, it's raw, it's got all the natural oils, no bad additives, and it's just bloody good.
You are someone that loves your fats, aren't you?
Love my fats. Live for fats.
Me too. Me too. Have you tried the smunchy one? I like the smunchy.
No.
The smunchy Maver's is divine. Yeah.
Crazy. And you know what I do with mine? I love having peanut butter with honey on corn thins.
That is the pre-workout.
That's my pre-workout, and that's just my go-to every day. I'm living for that every day. It's sad.
No,
but
it is actually the best. I think I've spoken about this on the podcast and on my stories because I froth it.
I love it.
So I love that you've taken that on as like
Yum.
your essential pre-workout.
That's it.
Amazing. Amazing. Wow. Caramel chocolate eggs.
Yes.
That will be the specialty this Sunday.
Yes.
What about hot cross buns? It is Easter.
Yeah, it is Easter. I'm going to attempt to make hot cross buns on Friday with my daughter. I'm going to attempt to. I'll get back to you on whether I succeed on that one or not. But yeah, it'll be eggs aplenty. And I'm going to do a guilt-free. I'm just going to dive into those eggs, live the chocolate life. And come Tuesday, I'll be back to being a good girl.
Yes, back on track as of Tuesday. I have said to you girls this week that calories, you do not need to be tracking your food or your calories on Easter Sunday or Good Friday for that matter. Are you someone who follows the tradition of eating fish on Good Friday?
I do, just because that's how I grew up as a child.
Yeah.
You know, we always had fish and it just feels right. It just happens on Friday. So yeah, I'm going to be having some fish. It could be salmon. It could be some gummy shark. I like to crumb my own at home. Yeah, get our protein in.
Hell yeah. My mum, if I eat meat on Good Friday, I am so frowned upon to her. Like, she is so disappointed. There has been a year where I have definitely eaten meat on Good Friday. That has not been fish, and she was not happy about it at all.
No, you don't want to upset the mums. So keep that fish rolling in on Friday.
Yeah, get that protein in, ladies and gents. All right. So you've ran me through, we'll get into the main part of the episode today. So you've ran me through your day in a life of having your kids, where you run them around, you make them breakfast, you take them to school, you then start your day, you do some creative arts, and then you do manage to find time for the gym. So the question is, would you consider yourself a busy mum?
100%. I'm a busy mum. I actually think all mums are busy, and we're all busy in our own unique ways.
Well, you are, right?
Yeah.
Do you, like, can I ask, does it ever slow down?
It can slow down if we make it slow down, but generally, no. It's just a fast pace of life that you somehow fall into, and it just becomes your new lifestyle. You become a queen of multitasking and doing multiple things at once while attempting to keep your head screwed on. So it's a learned skill over time. I don't know if I'll ever get there, if I'll ever master it, but I'm definitely trying.
You are actually killing it, must I say, because I look up to you so much. To be completely honest, all of you mamas that I coach, I am blown away by what you actually do in a day. Like, I hear your schedules and I sit there and go, fuck, she's actually busy. And even the times that you train and stuff, like when you actually fit in your training, which is what we're going to get into. So the very first thing is, I think we want to take it, let's tell a story today. Let's go back to where you started with your fitness journey, because I've known you for a number of years now. I knew you when you were into your cardio fitness days, group fitness, HIIT classes. You used to bloody kill it and sweat it out hard, right? So have you always been into health and fitness like your whole life, even when you were a child?
I think I wouldn't say I was a particularly sporty child, but I really got on into health and fitness and going to the gym sort of in my early 20s. And I did have a personal trainer in my early 20s. I was training with a group of lads. That's when I met my boyfriend, and I was training with the boys, and they were all super fit. And I thought, God, I'm just never going to be on their level. So that's when I loved that. But then I sort of moved away from that and thought, look, maybe I should do some high intensity classes, because maybe that's where I need to be. That's where I actually saw all the females in the high intensity classes. Whereas when I was doing my personal training with the lads, it was just the lads.
What kind of training were you doing when you were training with them back in and like how old did you say, in your 20s?
In my early 20s. So probably around 23, 24. So we were doing a mix of sort of weights and sort of interval training, I guess, all mixed in together in about a 1 hour session. And I loved it, but I wasn't really conditioned or educated enough at the time to really be doing it properly. Like I was in my early 20s. I was still going out like 5 times a week, cocktails, indulgent eating, and then going to the gym and thinking, why aren't I seeing any results? Why do I still feel the same?
Dani, what's changed? You still love a wine.
Still love a wine, but now under Kayla's guidance, I know the meaning of just restriction and not always indulging, just choosing your time to indulge and enjoying it more. So it's being selective, but through selection, actually really, really enjoying it rather than just it being a habit almost.
Yeah.
Not a bad habit. I mean, that's what your 20s are for, just for going out and having fun. So if you're out there in your 20s, just keep doing your thing.
Just keep doing it.
Just keep doing your thing, you know?
I love it. But okay, so you then from there went into the group fitness space where you were doing HIIT classes.
Yes.
So that's where you thought, okay, I'm a female. I see heaps of other females sweating it out, you know, doing burpees, crazy shit, and just going crazy on, you know, the rowers and the air bikes and all of that. So when you began doing that, what were you kind of looking for in terms of your goals? Like back then, what did you want to achieve with your physique?
Look, I think back then I really just wanted to feel toned. and this is the word that I've learnt is just, it shouldn't even be a word, because what does it really mean? But I was looking for a toned physique. Like I just wanted something that was really fit and healthy. And I actually did think that sweating it out was going to achieve that. So I did body combat when that was a thing back then. I did some Zumba classes, awesome, but didn't see any results there. I was doing HIIT classes, you know, Metcon when that sort of came in. So I've tried pretty much everything.
Pump classes as well?
Pump classes, tried that. So I've tried anything and everything that's been presented to us, and loved it. Enjoyed it at the time, but probably it hasn't been what I wanted to get where I wanted to go.
Perfect. Good segue into also how are you fueling during this time? So back then you probably weren't as educated, or obviously weren't as educated around nutrition.
No.
Back then in your 20s, like what were the main things that you would kind of assume you needed to do in order to lose weight or get toned? What was your thought process in, okay, how do I eat to get toned? What did you actually do to try to achieve that on your own?
I had absolutely no idea what I had to do except through what I thought I had to do, which was eating salads, probably under eating, definitely wasn't eating enough protein. Look, I was vegetarian at the time, so I would have been getting no protein.
Were you vegetarian because you thought it was healthier?
No, not at all. Just because I'd been vegetarian since I was 12, because I was such a big animal lover. I just decided, no, animals aren't for me. So I was probably training with very little fuel for my body at the time. I thought I really did have to skimp because I was also trying to not necessarily lose weight, but shape up. So I think it was definitely not right. That's for sure.
Yeah. And then how was your energy back then too? Like when you were doing all the HIIT classes, eating a lot of salads, not eating enough protein, did you feel tired and lethargic back then? Or
I was tired and lethargic. I'd go to the classes tired and lethargic, but just sort of belt it out, get it done. Always felt fantastic afterwards. But then I would hit that slump later in the afternoon when I was just super exhausted.
Yeah.
But never really being aware that there was a better way, or that what I was doing is wrong, because, you know, I had a lot of friends who were doing the same thing, eating the same way I ate.
And it was the norm,
we were none
right?
the wiser. Yeah.
Yeah. And did you used to fast before you trained as well?
No, I never used to fast before I trained. One thing I always did was I did eat before I went to train. So I either had, you know, a coffee, or I had a banana beforehand, maybe had some nuts. So I think I was doing that right.
Oh, good. Lisa, well, I mean, banana, yes.
Yes,
Good.
go bananas.
Carbs before training, the best. All right, well, that's good to know. So then what changed? We've been working together for 3 years now. So let's take it back to 3 years ago, or even before then. So when I was coaching you out of a gym that was group fitness.
That's right.
Back in the day, which we won't name names of the gym, but I was coaching you group fitness, and like it was a great gym, really good to be at. And that was the thing back then. Like group fitness was such a big thing. And then I obviously decided to go into doing my own thing, and then you reached out to me not long after. So talk to me then, what was it that made you go, I want to try something different?
I think when we were together at that gym, I knew that, I mean, I saw you in some of those classes too, and you were just banging it out, looking amazing, looking really fit. And I also was aware that you were doing some upstairs classes with the girls.
Yeah.
And it never really crossed my mind at the time to do it. So I just kept going at these hardcore classes, sweating it out, feeling exhausted, loving it, loving the group environment, because you really feed on other people's energy, and that really pumps you up. Just seeing other people slogging it out like you are, there's a lot of enjoyment in that, because it's a shared experience. But then I thought, my gosh, there's got to be another way. I don't feel the way I want to feel.
Yeah.
I felt like I was strong in a cardiovascular sense, but I still felt really depleted after those classes.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I was really gaining any muscle strength. And I knew that that's what I wanted above all, but I couldn't really even iterate what it was that I wanted to achieve. All I wanted, again, was I was looking for something toned, but something that allowed me to just feel really physically fit and strong. And because I had seen a few of your Instagram posts at the time, and seen you in the gym, and seen you rallying up these girls and doing these female focused classes, I thought, maybe I should just give it a shot. Maybe I should just do this. You know, Kayla looks really approachable, really friendly and enthusiastic, and she's the girl for me. So let's just do it.
I'm so glad that you actually did, because if we were to show the audience your transformation progress, and this is the point that I can make in relation to how a lot of women strive for fat loss and a lot of women really, really strive for a decline in the scale weight. And a lot of women will come to me wanting to lose weight, and they walk away with a completely different perspective. And I want to know if your mindset has changed over the last 3 years in relation to what you came to achieve versus what you actually got out of getting into the gym, and how it now makes you feel, and why you've actually continued it as a long-term habit, because it does make you feel good.
Yeah.
So talk to me about how the gym makes you feel now, like since you've got into it, and then we'll backtrack to your transition from home workouts to the gym.
Yeah. So the gym now for me is my release. So it's become my meditative space. It can be filled with pain and struggle and strain, but it's good strain. Like, it's strain towards the place where I want to be, which is just a journey of fitness. So I really love going to the gym now, because it's my indulgent time. Like, everybody spends their time treating themselves to different things. You know, some people might go and get facials or go for a massage. For me, I go to the gym, and I know that time's limited, you know, being a mum, working, and, you know, just doing mum life in general, that time is very limited. So for me, I personally get the most value out of going to the gym, because I'm doing something for myself. I'm doing something for my body, something that enables my body to keep up with my kids and be the healthiest version of myself for my kids. That's my motivation. And they see me going to the gym. It's very normal for them to, you know, see fit mom, you know, going off to the gym in her, you know, her short shorts and her crop top, and it's completely normal.
I need to talk about that. That is a really good point to make, because you obviously have the confidence to wear that, right? You have the confidence to train in a crop top, train in shorts. Did you always have the confidence to do that?
Hell no.
So this is the thing, because you look amazing, like you always did, but your physique has just changed so much in the time that we've worked together. And it's purely because you've transitioned from doing a whole heap of cardio and doing HIIT classes to actually getting into the gym and lifting weights.
Yes.
And like, we can talk about a number of things as to why the gym is so important, and especially as you age, how weight training can be so beneficial for you. But what I think is most important is the fact that you just established your why, I think, like, and your purpose as to why you actually show up and why you do go to the gym. And you just said because it's for your kids, like you do this for your kids. I want you to elaborate on that a little bit more. Why is it important for you to feel strong for your kids?
I think, well, firstly, so I can keep up with them. I mean, I'm not old by any means. I don't mind sharing my age with everyone. I'm 45. Did you notice that I just struggled to spit that one out? But yeah, so I'm not
40, but this
45. Oh my gosh. So like, I'm not old by any means, but you know, I am aware that as I do get older, that my body is going to change, and I just want to be prepared for that. And I've got to say, I feel fantastic the way I am now with everything that we've been doing. And yeah, it was my kids who motivated me, because I want to show them that, you know, that mum's strong, that mum is healthy, that mum can keep up with you, that wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do, I'm going to be doing it by your side, like bike riding, running, rolling on the ground, commando crawling, somersaulting into pools. I want to be there doing it with them. And I've just noticed my body become so much more flexible, strong, I mean, I can do crazy movements. I can do cartwheels,
Can you do a cartwheel?
handstands.
Oh my God.
I can do it all because the coordination that comes from strength training and lifting, just the benefits that come out of it.
What have you noticed the most in terms of the benefits, like since you've got into it?
I think just overall body strength, primarily my core strength. And I don't specifically train core, as you would know. I mean, I do core exercises as sort of an end of session set a lot of times during the week, but it's definitely not my focus. But that has come from training upper and lower body so intensely that core just comes out of that. And I've been so impressed with the way core strength has evolved through strength training, and that enables me to do those crazy cartwheels.
That is the best. I need to see a video of this. I need to get your husband to video you doing a cartwheel.
It'll be done.
Thank you. Well, even like on that note of core workouts, like a lot of women want to lose weight around their midsection, or they tend to hold a lot of body fat around their midsection, and the first thing that they say to me is, I want to lose weight in my stomach. Yep. And then a lot of people will assume that doing a whole lot of ab exercises is the answer to that. And I remember, and like a lot of women will say to me in their programs, like, I just want to add a little bit of core in. And it's funny how when you actually start doing more proper weight training, and when I say proper weight training, I'm not just talking about your home workouts with a pair of dumbbells, but going in and doing a compound movement like a leg press, like a squat, like a deadlift, all those major, a bench press, whatever it might be. Those exercises, you are using every single part of your body, and you are very much required to use your core. So I don't even really train core, to be completely honest, but I know that if I'm doing a sumo deadlift, if I'm doing a squat, if I'm doing any kind of functional movement that requires all of that, I am using my freaking core.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And have you noticed the same, like since doing all of that?
100%. But I would never have thought that core would be so involved in all of these movements. And that's only through jumping on the program with you and learning and becoming educated in this, that I've understood that this is, an added benefit of lifting. But you don't know until you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's even rewind it back to when you first come to me and the anxiety that you actually had around the gym, because when you started with me, you didn't actually start in the gym.
No.
I just literally remembered this. You started doing home workouts.
I sure did.
And I actually think we started just looking at your nutrition.
Yes.
And it was a progression. So Danny started working with me on her nutrition. We then started getting her involved with doing home workouts, because a lot of women will want to do home workouts because it's easier for them with kids and things like that, right? So I usually do a lot of home programs for mums. But then they will get to a point where you get bored. You get bored of home workouts, and also there's only so much variety that you can have doing home workouts. I'm sorry, but I would neck myself if I had to do home workouts every day, like for this long. And I just know in my head, I'm like, if I can just get this girl into the gym, she's going to see some epic results.
Yeah.
Like, I just know that the results that she'll get and the change in her body composition and the toned look that she wants, I just know that she will get this if she gets her ass into the gym.
Yeah. And it's true. It's true. It was my comfort zone, being at home, being hidden away, not having to face up to potentially, the muscle crowd that's hitting the weight section at the gym. I just didn't feel that was my place yet. I want to talk about that. What was it that made you so scared of the gym? What was it that made you anxious, and why did you, put it off for like such a long time? Why do you feel like you didn't belong? Well, I don't know if it was not belonging, because I had, done group classes before and sweating it out, just, looking like I had had a shower, red face. I didn't care how I looked. It was nothing to do with how I was turning up at the gym. I think it was just the unknown, you know, just weights. I mean, I've never lifted weights in my life.
It's quite overwhelming too.
It is overwhelming. It just, everything's the same color. Everything's black. It is predominantly male. And I thought, how am I going to fit in there? I'm not going to know a thing. This is just out of my depths. So that's why I stayed at home. You know, I had enough to get me by. But as you said, it just got to a point where I thought, I just can't do this. I'm not going to go to the next level if I don't step out of my comfort zone and do something different.
I remember we got to I think it was like the end of another block of your home programs.
Yeah.
And we got on the phone and I said, Danny, the next block, we're going to the gym.
Yeah.
And I
Get out of
remember
the house.
I remember you saying, because I think you were like, I think I'm ready for the next level. I literally remember you saying this. You were like, I think I'm ready for the next step. I'm like, you ready to go to the gym?
Yeah.
And then I think I literally just programmed you the most basic gym program.
Yeah.
And it's just been, I guess, you evolving every program since.
Yes.
And it's been a gradual process. It's been a stepping stone. Like, to be honest, like Danny is squatting, deadlifting, pressing pretty freaking damn heavy now. Like you are lifting pretty damn heavy. So, you know, she's on the leg press, she's on the hack squat, she's doing her hip thrust. Like she's doing all of your major compound movements, but you don't need to start with that. And
No.
I think that's the main takeaway is a lot of women are petrified to get themselves into the gym because they think that they need to start with that.
Yeah.
And you don't. Like that the reality is you don't. Like you can start with just doing simple movement patterns without the weight. You can start doing home workouts. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you starting with a home workout program. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's the main thing is people just see where you're at now and they think that's where they need to be, but they don't realize that you've had a journey to get to where you are now.
Yeah.
And it's been 3 years
Yes.
to get to where you are now. Same goes with your body composition though, right?
Yeah.
Like these results didn't happen in 10 weeks.
No, but you definitely start to see the movement in 10 weeks. You start to see the changes.
Yeah.
Like when I did your intake program, was that about 10 to 12 weeks?
10 weeks, I think. Yeah. The 10-week coaching intakes that I used to do. Yeah.
And I could see the changes, the gradual changes. Yes, it's not immediate, but slowly, sort of around the 6 to 7 week mark, you start to see, you know, you do see the kilos dropping because you're eating the right nutrition for whatever exercise that you're doing. And you do start to feel your muscles just warming up to this new way of moving.
Yeah. And the other thing too, like we can get into a little bit about the nutrition as well. But like if I looked at your progress photos as well, would you say if I put your progress photos side by side,
Yep.
your goal that you initially said to me was I want to look toned.
Yes.
Do you look at yourself now and describe yourself as toned? Let's assume that we're talking to the female population that still associate that word
Yes.
as wanting to look a little bit more, have a little bit more muscle definition, have less body fat, and look strong.
Yeah.
Have you achieved that?
I am toned in inverted commas. I am where I wanted to be. Actually, I'm beyond where I wanted to be. I didn't expect to be carrying it so far. I was just thinking that the other day, like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually here. I'm actually where I had always wanted to be in a physical sense. And I'm really grateful for that. And it is a journey. It doesn't happen immediately. It is it's a slow progress, a slow process, I should say, but one that you just have to fall in love with and always know that you're going to get there.
Yeah.
I do believe you're always going to get there.
You do.
You'll get to a point when you feel like, yep, this feels right. This is it.
And I think you're in a place now where it's come to just being part of your lifestyle now.
Completely.
It's not a chore. You found what you love and you found what you enjoy. And I think that's the main key takeaway too is once you do find your love or your purpose for and it doesn't need to be the gym. Like for most people, like if you do hate the gym, like you're not going to stick with it. It's pretty simple. But I think it's about finding what style of training works for you as well. But in terms of body composition and in terms of being toned, because I think, as you mentioned, it does get thrown around a lot, and you say inverted commas, toned. Let's unpack that word for the listeners then. So if you're someone that is looking to get toned, if that's the way that you describe getting toned, essentially what you're saying is you want to lose body fat and you want to build muscle. And women are too scared to admit that they want to build muscle, because building muscle, they're too scared that they're going to get too bulky.
Yes.
They're too scared that they're going to look manly, and they're just afraid of lifting weights or lifting heavy because they're scared they're going to look manly.
Yes.
And unless you're taking, let's be real, unless you're taking roids or any kind of PEDs, you're not going to look like that. And it's taken a long time, even for say how I look. Some people might say that I look too muscular, but that has been 10 years of training. And that's also going through a calorie surplus and putting on size and doing all of that too. But if you just want to lose body fat and build a little bit of muscle, so you've got a little bit of definition, you can see some shoulder muscles, you can see your delts, you can see your back becoming a little bit wider, your waist is looking a little bit slimmer, you're getting that, that kind of shape, your glutes are getting rounder, you don't have a flat pancake bum anymore. That, girls, is body recomposition. And that is what most women are referring to as getting toned. You say you want to get toned. What you actually want is you want to change your body composition.
Yeah.
And I want to now mention the scale weight. So, and then how your scale weight hasn't actually changed very much.
Yes.
So when you came to me, I've actually got these numbers. Yeah, I do have these numbers here. I wrote them down today.
Yeah,
I had a look at your progress. So right now, Danny, you're, what are you now? 57.4.
Yeah, I'm probably about 56.5 at the moment.
Oh, there you go.
I'm getting, because
Okay.
I'm still coming out of my my summer shed, and now going into the surplus.
Shed or shred?
Shred and shed.
Let's talk about the different phases then, and we'll tie that into scale weight. So Danny obviously wanted to lose body fat at the start, right? You wanted to lose body fat, and we went through a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
So going through a calorie deficit, it wasn't an aggressive one. It was quite conservative, not too aggressive. But you did lose about 4 kilos, I believe, back on that 10-week program that you did.
That's right.
You did lose about 4 to 5 kilos. And with that said, you lost the 4 to 5 kilos. And then I said to you, okay, I want to trial something with you. I want to trial doing a reverse diet. I want to help you get more food freedom, because I think it got to a point where you were obviously tracking your food, and it got to a point where you were like, I think I need a little bit of a break from food tracking and being so rigid with my nutrition and being so food obsessed. And so from that point I was like, okay, well, in order for you to have a little bit more flexibility, in order for you to have a little bit more freedom, I want to increase your calories, and I want to put you in a little bit of a reverse diet. And we went from there. So through the journey of 3 years, Danny has not been in a calorie deficit for 3 years.
No, I would not survive.
Her body would not have got to where it is now without her being in a muscle building phase, without us increasing her calories, without her putting on a little bit of body fat, and without her actually eating more food. Okay, so we went from that phase. We spent a decent amount of time building muscle last year, and I think that was about 6 months.
That's right. Mid-year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I don't know, I can't remember what I got your calories up to and what you were eating, but
I was up there. I was probably around 2.2.
Yeah,
2.3, around there.
Yeah. And then from there, I think it was like, let's do a shred.
I know. The dreaded word.
Now,
and around Christmas time.
I know. Hang on. It was because you're
just before Christmas.
You're a social butterfly.
Oh.
You love a wine and you love a wood fire pizza.
Love a pizza. Bring it on. Extra anchovies.
What's your favorite wood fire pizza?
Oh God. I do love Oh God, just give me anything and I'll be a happy woman.
Because that is your guilty pleasure, isn't it?
Yeah, I do love a capricciosa, but with extra anchovies. I do love anchovies. I love it salty, and I love a really thick, fat pizza base.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I remember you saying this once. You're like, I think I was going through like what to order when dining out, and you were like, Kayla, I just want to eat a pizza.
Oh,
and I said, you know what? Valid. Like sometimes you actually just want to eat a fucking pizza.
Yeah, and you feel so good when you actually give in and eat it. Just hoe into it. Those sweet carbs, the fat,
the passion,
yum.
But this is the thing, like because we've had a realistic approach, like you have been able to do that.
Yeah.
But I also want to stress that your journey comes in seasons.
Yes.
So when you did go through that fat loss phase last year, and you did trim down, like, oh my God, I hadn't seen you in ages, and you came to one of the strong classes, and I was like, Danny, you could get up on stage. You are looking unreal.
I just needed some fake tan and some heels.
I swear to God, like she had a full 6-pack. Your shoulders were diced. You had like veins coming out of your shoulders. I was like, oh my God, is that my client? Is that like, oh my God, she looks unreal. And then I'm like, I think I can reverse diet her now. I think we're done. Yeah. I think we're done here. And you were starting to say like, I'm a bit hungry. Like I'm feeling I've got no energy, and I'm like, I'm tired, and I just want to eat pizza. And yeah, describe to me that difference between your muscle building phase and your fat loss phase.
They're two different disciplines, really. I mean, when you go into a muscle building phase, you get really excited because you do know that you're going to be able to be consuming a whole lot more food. You know, obviously really clean carbs, clean protein, minimal fats. But you're going to be fueling yourself for really good heavy workouts, like making the most of that energy, making most of the energy in the food that you're consuming, and just focusing on building muscle. I actually get really excited about it because I'm in a surplus now. So I'm really excited about knowing that I'm going to have enough energy and that I'm just going to give these gym sessions my absolute all. Just kill it and make the most of this muscle building phase.
Are your training sessions more productive and more intense in a surplus phase?
For me personally, yes. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I feel
stronger?
Yes, stronger, just more prepared, sort of just more mentally focused as well.
Yeah.
Again, that could be a food thing.
100%.
Just feeling really ready for each session.
Yeah. What time of day do you train?
Well,
how do we fit it
going back to being busy?
Exactly. How do we fit it into your day? When are you training?
Well, it's really ad hoc. It's whatever's fitting in with the kids' routine each week. So I would say for me, it's always on the weekends. So really early on a Saturday and really early on a Sunday before all the sporting activities start or social activities start. So that's 2 guaranteed sessions. You are both 6 a.m. both days. I will also do evening training sessions.
Is that so during the week you're in evening?
During the week, I'll make sure that the food's on the table, you know, everybody's fed and content, and then I'll just scoot out the door at about 7 p.m. and then I'll bang out a session then. And I love that because I know that everybody's happy at home, and then I don't feel under pressure or stressed when I'm at the gym at night time. I can just take my time knowing everyone back home is happy.
That is a trend that I'm noticing with mums that I coach.
Yeah.
They like doing the evening late once kids are put to bed and hubby's home to supervise,
100%.
look after. Yeah, because I'm definitely without a doubt a morning trainer, but navigating the scope for the perfect routine that works for a mum, or obviously to anyone who, like everyone each to their own in terms of what works for them. But just because I'm a morning trainer doesn't mean Danny needs to be a morning trainer. And I think it's working and identifying when that best moment is for you to actually get it done.
Yeah.
And also the number of sessions that you can do as well. Like you can't commit to 5 sessions, 6 sessions a week. That's ridiculous. I can't commit to that, to be fair.
Yeah.
So we found a sweet spot of 4 sessions per week.
Yes.
Yeah. And then so now she knows that she can spend more time on the weekend. Like she can actually allocate more time on the weekend. So you have Saturday, Sunday, and then you've got actually more of your rest days during the week.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I do. I really sort of go hard on the weekends.
Yeah.
And then space it out during the week when things are pretty crazy.
Yeah. But I even like the idea of the evening making sure everyone's organized and then doing your session, which is nice.
Yeah.
So,
and you're in a good mind frame. And then when you get home, you're nice and exhausted and you have a beautiful sleep.
I love it. I love it. Well, let me think of what other things that I wanted to talk to you about today. I guess the main one is your progress in terms of, going through these different phases to get to where you are now, and just dropping that little difference that between the 3 years that we've worked together, the scale weight has only dropped 4 kilos.
Yes.
Like it hasn't been drastic, and like you were never big to begin with, to be fair. Like you always people would look at you and go, yep, Danny's really healthy. Danny looks great. And it's just that little change that we've made in terms of your body composition. And I think the bigger picture here is how you now have more food freedom and more flexibility because you've gained muscle.
Yes.
Right? So one of the benefits of lifting weights, and I always say this, is you will have more food freedom when you lift weights and when you build muscle. And the reason for that is you actually improve your metabolism. Your body becomes more efficient at burning calories the more muscle that you hold. Another important thing to note is as you age, your muscle will deplete. Like you will lose muscle the more that you age. So it's actually more beneficial for you to lift weights as you age.
Absolutely.
For that reason, you're becoming more prone to osteoarthritis or osteoporosis. Your bones, your joints, they become weaker, more brittle. So it's actually really important for you to be strengthening your bones and joints as you age, and therefore weight training will support that. So you've done a great thing by getting into the gym and doing that. But even just in terms of, the way that your body will burn calories, you now can eat a lot more. So you can now go out for wines.
Yep.
You can go out and have a pizza. It really doesn't matter because your calories are, you're eating 2,300 calories. You've got that extra bit to play with.
Yeah,
Whereas
absolutely.
if you're someone that's consuming 1,200, 1,300 calories, that's your pizza when you go out for dinner.
That's one meal.
It's one meal.
Yeah.
Like if you're having drinks, if you're having a few champagnes and deep fried food, like pizza and all that, it's just not going to work for you like long term, right? And do you notice that difference now, when you were in a calorie deficit, the lack of freedom and flexibility that you had with food, and you were a lot more rigid with your choices?
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
Look, I knew that it was for a short period of time. So we said, we're going to do this deficit leading up to Christmas. So then I knew that once Christmas hit that, I could.
We were strategic.
We were strategic. So I knew that there was a light at the end of the tunnel, and I knew I wanted to do this. Like I wasn't entering this feeling like I was forcing myself to do it or I was under pressure to do it. I actually wanted to do it because I'd worked really hard to build that muscle, and I thought, okay, let's show the muscle that's underneath. Let's do a shred and go into a deficit. So I think it's just jumping straight in and just embracing it. Like it's nothing scary. Like it's just cutting back on a few things for a short period of time. It's not forever.
Yeah.
It actually taught me a lot of good discipline as well, and just to be really mindful in the foods that I'm choosing, and to be choosing the best forms of, fats, carbohydrates and proteins that I can consume. So heaps of veggies, really clean protein. It was almost like a cleanse. It was just eating really well and actually feeling really good. I felt deprived of wines and pizza and chocolate, yes. But I wasn't starving. I wasn't hungry.
I think it's really important to note the way that you selected your food.
Yes.
In a deficit versus in a surplus. So looking for, those higher volume foods, more wholesome, nutrient dense. And then now that you're in a surplus, you're like, oh, I've got more calories to play with. let's incorporate those foods that I missed when I was in a deficit.
Absolutely.
And then you can be a little bit more diverse with your food choices. You can have a little bit more variety and a little bit more enjoyment.
Absolutely.
So what do you love most about being in a calorie deficit versus what you love most in a surplus?
What do I love about a deficit? I think it's knowing that you're doing it with a goal in mind. So I knew that, I was just going to be, shredding a little bit to show the work that I had, I guess, been working hard at across winter to attain, and just eating really, really well leading up to that indulgent season. So I found that it was a bit of a cleanse. And
your digestion was better.
Yeah, just everything felt cleaner. So I think that's what I really love about a deficit. You feel like you're just being really clean and doing good for yourself.
Yeah.
And then a surplus, it's amazing, for the energy that you get in all the food that you're consuming. Yes, having more freedom, but also knowing that you've got to make the most of this time and work really hard, and build that muscle. Yeah. Don't let it go to waste. Like, you're eating food to grow your muscles, to build your body. Go out there and do it.
Yeah. I love it. What would you pick? Calorie deficit or calorie surplus?
Oh, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to be crazy and say a deficit.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to be crazy and say that one because it's a challenge.
Yeah.
You've got to be really disciplined, and it just takes a lot of mind power and willpower to do it. And there's a kind of freedom in that because you're like, wow, I can really do this.
Yeah.
It's not really being it's not being so reliant on food to make us feel happy or make us feel satisfied or fulfilled. Like, food's just one aspect of life. There's so much out there to get pleasure and enjoyment from. And you really realize that in a deficit because you've got to look at other things for happiness.
What did you do
I do like it.
What did you do for fun and enjoyment, and how did you shift the focus away from food with your social life when you were in a deficit? What did you do differently?
Well, I guess, look, I would always plan my social outings and really choose the times when I was going to go all out and just indulge.
Yeah.
So leading up to that, I would be really mindful of my eating. So then I could go out and have 1 or 2 champagnes on that occasion, not going nuts, not having, all the drinks under the sun as I might like to.
Control.
But just thinking, okay, well, I've got this coming up. Just banking a few calories beforehand, and also just being mindful of my way back into regular eating after that event. Just being more aware, I guess, and just choosing my times when to indulge and when not.
Yeah. I think one thing that I want to mention is what you've done. So you came to me not knowing anything about calories, nothing about macros, didn't know how much protein you were consuming, no idea, right?
Nope.
You took on food tracking, and I remember you telling me how overwhelming, tedious and fucking annoying it was.
Yep.
Because it is really overwhelming when you're starting out. I want to know how, because you've persevered, you love to track your food now.
Yeah. I'm down with food tracking. We're friends.
We're friends now. But how has this benefited you, and why was it worth learning for you? How has it now that you actually have mastered this skill?
Yeah.
How has it benefited your life?
Again, it's just having the freedom to eat what you want because you're more educated on what that food actually contains, what calories are in it, whether it works with the training that you're doing. But I must say, in the beginning, it was terrifying to track. I didn't know how to track, never tracked before. Everybody thought I was a nut for tracking. My whole family couldn't believe I was tracking. They thought, oh my gosh, Danny's gone mad.
I want to know how you navigate this, because it is, for the normal everyday person, people think you're bananas.
Yeah.
People think you're crazy.
Track. Yes.
People think, what the fuck are you doing? You're so food obsessed. Like, you're too obsessed with this. Why are you doing this? All of those comments that get thrown around at your social functions.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that? What would you say in those settings? Or like, did you just pre-track and then not get that out when you're like, what did you do when people gave you shit for tracking your food?
I would have to just be really confident in what I'm doing and where I'm at, and I guess sort of re-educate them the way you re-educated me on what food tracking actually means. I guess there's a lot of stigma around what tracking actually means. People don't really, like I didn't, understand it in a fitness sense, that it's just educating yourself on proper nutrition for when you're training. So yeah, you know, I'd have friends over for dinner parties and I'd be getting out my scales and I'd be weighing stuff and I just had to be okay with that and be okay with the questions. I'd say, look, you know, I'm just, I'm on a different kind of fitness journey now. You know, I'm tracking my food to really benefit myself and where I want to go, and not be embarrassed. I mean, I'm not embarrassed about anything I do. I don't know why I should feel ashamed about it. It's just, I guess, through people not knowing, they're, you know, they might throw some comments at you or maybe get really worried about you and check in on you later on. Like, are you okay, Danny? Gosh, is there something you want to tell me? But just to reassure them, no, everything's okay. And, you know, I'm under supervision. I'm under professional guidance. And everything's awesome. I'm just trying something different, you know?
Yeah. I think that's really important that you said it, because I do see people hate the idea of feeling like they're doing something that's not okay because of that stigma around it. And again, re-educating people why you do things, I think, is really important. And I say this to you girls all the time. It's like, you're tracking your food in a deficit, out of a deficit, but it's also not a forever thing. Like, learning how to track your food then enables you to actually move away from it and become more flexible and intuitive down the track. So now that you are so experienced with food tracking, how do you navigate your nutrition now? Because you don't track everything now.
No, I don't. No.
Yeah. So,
especially dinners.
Yeah. Like we have a way more flexible approach to your nutrition and your journey now. And we've been able to become more intuitive.
Yes.
With that. And also I don't give meal plans either. So like, I'm pretty much, Danny, eat what you want.
Yeah.
But you do still do coaching with me. So it's like understanding that you can still get results without having to track your food. But in the beginning, in the early days, would you say it actually did help you a lot with learning more about food?
Oh, 100%. Well, for me personally, I could not do one without the other. It just goes hand in hand, nutrition and training, and doing both side by side. I think it's the best way to start off and the best way forward for quite a long time. Like, it's only now that I've started to be more flexible because I feel more confident to do that, because I feel like I've learned enough. Well, you never stop learning, but I feel like I have you know, enough education in the memory bank to say, yep, I can eat that, and know pretty well that I'm hitting my targets to stay on track with what I'm doing training wise.
And portion sizes, you can eyeball things now.
Yes, because I have my trusty scales. I love them, got them from Kmart. They have enabled me to just eyeball food and pretty much just be bang on with how much it weighs.
Do you do that with yourself? Do you guess?
My kids even do it with me.
Do you really? I love it.
Yes.
Then you're teaching them.
Yes.
Because isn't that funny? When you, I do this with myself. I'm like, okay, I'll put something on the scale, but then I'm like, all right, I'm going to guess what it is.
Yes.
And then I put it on the scale and then I see how far off I am.
Yes.
And then if you're only a few grams off, like that's amazing, because that's then how you can actually eat intuitively when you're in a social setting, right?
Yeah. Cheap thrills.
Oh, are we fucking ballistic? We are crazy. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums up most of what I wanted to talk about today. And yeah, I think knowing, in terms of what advice you could give any mum out there who is struggling to get into the gym or make time for themselves, prioritize themselves, is there any tips or pointers that you have for them?
Well, I think in a fitness sense, you've really got to find what it is that you love and enjoy. You have to love it. Like I completely understand not everybody's for the gym, but I think just pinpointing what it is that's going to give you the most enjoyment while making you feel really good body and health wise. I think that's the main thing. I really love going to the gym, so that's my thing. And it's become even more my thing now that I'm doing weight training. I'm absolutely in love with weight training. And I'm so pleased that I've joined this journey. And I would say, if for anybody, you don't even have to be a mum, for any female out there who's pressed for time, it's just thinking, what do I really want for myself? Do I really want this fitness journey for myself? Do I want this moving forward in life? And if it is, then I do believe you can make the time. It's just identifying when those pockets of time are in your week, whether it's half an hour, 40 minutes, 1 hour, identifying, can I get it on a Tuesday? Can I get it on a weekend? Just shuffling a few things around to achieve it. And you'll just feel so good doing this for yourself. Like you can only feel good. You won't regret it. It's essential, I think.
I think it's almost one of those things. I read something somewhere and I can't remember the quote at the top of my head, but essentially what it was saying is if your partner is wondering like why you're going to the gym, just say, I'm going to the gym so that I am not a CUNT for you and the family. Like, why do you go to the gym? Like if they say, Danny, why do you go to the gym? And it's like, well, I go to the gym so that I show up better for you and I'm not a CUNT.
Yeah, it's true. I'm always buzzing when I get back from the gym. I feel great and my kids see that I feel great. My kids genuinely love that I'm going to the gym and training. They have big giggles about it, but I also know that they love it because they're like, oh, Mom, you're so muscly. And my son's actually been embarrassed. He did actually say to me, Mum, can you not turn up to school in your muscles? So I kid you not, bless him, I'm not allowed to wear my gym tops to school. I have to put on a jumper. So I'm doing that out of respect. And I get it, he's 12, he's almost 12, and he's like, Mum, don't turn up in your muscles. But I love that. I love that.
That is the best. I love it. Oh my God.
Oh, hilarious.
No, that is so funny.
I know. It's really hilarious.
He's embarrassed by his mum being strong.
I know, because it's unusual in their realm, to see, I guess, maybe a muscular mum, but I kind of love that it's unique and it's different, and I'm pretty sure.
But let's change that, right? Like, fuck that.
Yeah, it's just changing, I guess, a stereotype or a look of how maybe you're supposed to be. But no, the kids love that I go, and I'm pretty sure that they may even, go on their own fitness journey through seeing me do it and seeing me love it so much.
You're probably like such a role model to them. I mean, anyone looks up to their parents, and lifestyle, if we look at like I don't know, stats out there, you genuinely, if your parents were healthy, you're more likely to endeavor a healthy lifestyle as you grow up.
Yeah.
Whereas if you grow up with a family, like if you grow up in a family where you don't do sport, they're not active and they're couch potatoes and things like that, like it's usually a domino effect, right?
Yeah, look, kids really do absorb whatever they are surrounded by. And, I think if it's, a positive one and obviously, if you've got fitness in there as well as just an added bonus, then hopefully they'll know that, it's good to look after yourself.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think I had one last question, which is kind of a little bit on a detour, but so I might skip past that one. But I do want to just finish on what you do for your work, because I think you could definitely be someone's inspiration, or someone may love to see all of the amazing work that you do, and they might want to reach out to you as well. So sure. Talk to us about how people can find you, and what they could be kind of expecting if they were to do some work with you in relation to your artwork.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram and also on the web. So it's www.livesketchbydannib.com.au, or just at Live Sketch by Danni B on Instagram. I think you'll get a really good idea for what I do just by browsing the gallery of my work. I do a lot of brand activations, commercial illustration, live illustration for events, and it's all concept to completion. So I tailor all the concepts to the unique brand or event or client, and aim to come up with something that really represents and elevates your offering through artwork. It's my passion. I guess my style is quite sassy, bold and vibrant. So if that's your vibe, then check me out.
She is honestly a talent. She's actually done some creative work for me before. I loved it. It was a very cute gift from Dani. But yeah, you definitely need to check it out. I'll put it in the show notes as well, so you can definitely find her and reach out if it's something that you're interested in. But before we wrap up this episode, we have a quick rapid fire segment, which Dani does not know these questions for, and they're quick, short, sharp, straight to the point.
Oh, okay.
Whatever off the cuff comes to your head. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, question number 1. A piece of advice you would give to your younger self.
Oh, don't worry so much.
Do you worry too much?
I used to.
What is your biggest ick in the gym?
Oh, God. I'm sorry, guys, but guys who come up and tell you how to do things because supposedly you're not doing it right.
Dead. Scram. Your favorite self-care activity is?
Oh, jumping into bed by myself with my dressing gown on and a hot turmeric latte.
That is so specific.
I know, it's very specific.
Are you we know already, morning or evening trainer?
A bit of both, half, morning and evening.
Yeah, morning on weekends, evening
during the week.
Weekdays. Yeah. Overnight oats or overnight Wheat Bix?
Overnight oats, because Wheat Bix are smushy anyway, so you get the same result either way.
Do you know what? Because overnight Wheat Bix is such a thing. Yeah, I'm a more pro oats for sure. Yeah.
Yum.
Favorite kid friendly fakeaway meal?
I would say, this is a tough one. Probably pizzas. Yeah. Like pizzas on flatbread of some kind, because you can just alter the topping and make it super healthy and the kids don't know.
Yeah. Biscoff or peanut butter? We know the answer already.
Peanut butter.
Definitely.
But I do love Biscoff.
Yeah. I definitely have not seen Biscoff really ever in your food diary.
No, I don't. I don't usually do it because I'll opt for peanut butter.
But I was going to say, I always see peanut butter in your food diary.
Yep, always there.
Are you when it comes to training lower body, glutes or hammies or quads?
Glutes.
Yeah.
Bring on the butt.
You bring on the booty. And calorie surplus, muscle building phase or calorie deficit? You did already answer this question.
I did already answer that. Let's go for a deficit.
Yeah.
Bit of a challenge.
What is your comfort food?
Bread. Just bread.
Specific?
Oh, just the freshest, whitest bread you can get with just latherings of butter. And it's got to be Lurpak butter, the good stuff.
So are you that person for hot cross buns this year? You're going to lather the shit out of that.
Yum.
You need to do peanut butter on your hot cross buns or Biscoff on a hot cross bun.
Crazy.
We've spoken about this.
Don't put ideas in my head.
You're allowed. You're in surplus. What? Actually, tracking macros or intuitive eating?
They both have their time. I do love intuitive eating.
Yeah. What you love most about being a mum?
The love that I get from my kids and just feeling that love and giving it back.
Oh, yeah. A lesson you've learned in the last 12 months?
Persistence is key in everything in life.
Love that. Something that has changed your life since getting into the gym?
Just actually building for real muscle, like muscle, actually being able to see it, feel the strength that it gives me. It's the bomb.
We love. And one last piece of advice that you would like to provide to the listeners who are busy working mums, and we're going to give you we're going to give the listeners another piece of advice.
Yep.
Give them one more piece of advice to level the fuck up and to stop making excuses and to get to the gym or start prioritizing their nutrition.
I think you've just got to jump out there and do it. There's no right time. There's no wrong time. Not to be impatient, just to think, yep, today I'm going to step out there and do it. It's just, it's a slow process. It's a day by day thing, and you've got to get joy out of it every day. But just starting is key. Just a little bit each day. One day, then the next day, then the next day. That's how it worked for me. Just taking one day at a time and making that change one day at a time. And then finally, all those days will add up to 100 days, to 200 days.
Compounding over time,
and just getting there and feeling fantastic for having done it.
I love that. You're so inspiring to me.
I've tried. I've tried.
You really are.
I'm not the best advice giver, but hey.
No, you've done such a good job today. I'm really proud of you. And this podcast is obviously called Evolve to Thrive. So what is one thing that people can do to evolve in their life besides the gym to then thrive in all areas of their life?
I just think to constantly challenge yourself, to always embrace change, to be open to new experiences. I heard a quote recently that said, the minute you're done changing, you're done.
Yeah.
And I thought that really hit me. And I thought, I always want to be changing. I always want to be trying new things, just being different versions of myself and evolving to thrive.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. What is going to be the next step for you in evolving, moving forward? Something that you're going to do. What is the next big challenge for you?
Just in general?
Yeah.
In life?
Yeah. Like it doesn't need to be health and fitness related. What's something that scares you? What is something that scares you? What is a change that you're going to make to level the fuck up and evolve?
Aging is scaring me, even though I'm not really quite there yet. Just the thought of aging does scare me, only because I'm afraid to lose mobility. I'm afraid to age, become an old lady. And what am I going to do to evolve and to sort of combat that fear? I think just to keep exploring, expanding myself, loving life, surrounding myself with beautiful family and friends, and just enjoying the next stage forward. Life is a blessing, and that's how I'm going to embrace it.
Yeah, you've done so well on this podcast today. I think all of the listeners will be able to take a lot of value away. I thank you so much for coming on, because it was really good to get a mum's perspective on what it's like to actually get into fitness, get to the gym, and show a realistic person who actually lives a really fucking busy life, but more importantly, showcase that life is hard, but you can still show up for yourself. You can still make time for yourself, and you can still get it done. Even if it is a little bit hard, you're still getting there. You're still trying. You're still having a go. And as you said, you're doing it gradually, step by step, letting it compound over time. And then look, before you know it, 3 years down, you'll look like Danni, who's
thanks,
who's strong, and her kids are too scared to show you off.
Embarrassed. No, it's all good.
I'm joking.
I feel amazing, and I feel really grateful for the journey and grateful for your guidance. And thanks for having me on for a chat. Thank you. For those of you that are still listening, as always, appreciate this love and support. If you are finding that this episode resonated, love for you to share it on to one of your other friends or someone else who will find value. If you are someone who is wanting to level the fuck up with your journey, be sure to message me at Like a Girl Fitness with the word evolve, and I can see how I can help you with your own health and fitness journey. See you for now.